right, Whovians, and welcome to our next review of the our Who Universe 20 Years of New Who celebration for Doctor Who. And we're going to look at Series 3. This is the second series of David Tennant. Obviously, his 10th Doctor is dealing with the loss of Rose Tyler, so he needs a new companion, and that's in form of Freema Agyeman, who plays Martha Jones. Obviously, which is interesting because, well, Martha Jones, she had a cousin who was in Torchwood who died, who was also played by Freema Agyeman. You may remember from Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. So yeah, that happened, but obviously we now see her as Martha Jones just 1 year after appearing in that finale. She finally debuts as Martha Jones during Smith and Jones, which was a great introduction of, and obviously talking about the series, obviously Smith and Jones was a great introduction. The fact that we saw her in the hospital when it got sent to the moon from the Judoon, and the fact that we saw the Doctor go barefoot because he had to use one of the equipments in the hospital, which the radiation got into his body, and he had to put in his shoes, and he had to go barefoot for the rest of the trip. So that was fun. Another great story I enjoyed was the Daleks and Manhattan evolution of the Daleks, where we had the whole human Dalek combination, which Brian was definitely a first for Doctor Who. Definitely, we saw a bit of compassion from that Dalek, something that we haven't seen from the Dalek before. The fact that the Dalek was feeling compassionate and tried to order the Daleks to stop fighting, but they treated him as a prisoner because of the new revolution the Daleks wanted to have. But obviously, some of the Daleks got destroyed, but Dalek 6 managed to get away from the. Like I said, Dalek 6 managed to get away. And another good story I really enjoyed. I mean, the Shakespeare Code. We got to see William Shakespeare as part of the second episode of the series. Because yes, William Shakespeare finally got the chance to shine in Doctor Who, so that was really cool. I really enjoyed the Shakespeare stuff, even though I didn't mind the witches part. And then we have Human Nature, Family of Blood, which is a very powerful, again, another powerful story for David Tennant. The fact that he had to act as a human being, so the Doctor as a human, which was he had to be like John Smith for most of the story, and you could tell his acting was superb. Him trying to be a human, most knowing that he had to turn into the Doctor in order to stop the Family of Blood in the end. So it was and also, this was based on a book that was released back in the Seventh Doctor reign, back in the 80s, that they were originally going to do with Sylvester McCoy. They did with David Tennant, so that was really clever. That they brought a book from the 80s that they did for Doctor Who called Human Nature and brought the elements of that story into the script for Human Nature that got released in Series 3, and I loved how they did that. It was really well done. And then we have Blink. Blink was a very, very great story. I love the whole Weeping Angels concept. The Weeping Angels was powerful story. I love the concept of the Weeping Angels, the fact that you can't blink, otherwise you die, and if you turn around, they move. Really spot on. Really it gets you like very terrified about the Weeping Angels. Very terrified of. And then, of course, we had our first ever three-parter during the series, which was Utopia, The Sound of Drums, The Last of the Time Lords, which was a fantastic three-parter where Utopia, you had this Professor Yana, which was all related to the Face of Bo's message, "You are not alone," that revealed the return of the Master. Who would ever thought the Master would return in Series 3? But there you go. We had Professor Yana revealed as the Master, which led to John Sim taking on that role and eventually becoming the Master for Doctor Who, because of course John Sim finally embraced the Master role by making him the more insane Master than we've ever seen in years, pretty much. He brought a whole new layer to the Master, and obviously, yeah, it was a very, very great story seeing John Sim be this insane Master who had all this power that he would change the Doctor's face from young to old. Just so well done, so well done. So yeah, so that was a really cool moment for Series 3. Actually, like I said, these were just some of the stories that I actually enjoyed the most out of Series 3. I would love to hear what you guys make of Series 3. Did you love Martha Jones as a companion? And what are your favourite stories of Series 3? So these are just some of my favourites. Let me know yours in the comment section below. I thought we'll keep it nice and brief, really, because otherwise I could go on for hours, obviously. Yeah, I would love to hear what every Whovian thinks of this series, because I thought it was a very powerful, very, very strong series for David Tennant. For his second series, they made it strong, and they did a really good job with it. So that was series 3, and then of course we're going to transition to series where we will see very massive finale, as well as the many cool things that happened during series 4 alongside the Doctor and his good friend Donna. So I'll see you very short. See you in the next episode next week. See you then.